what do you think about... So, it's always what I see, what women want. What a woman wants. Well, what about what a man wants? You know?
Yeah, you don't hear that song very often.
No. What the fuck does a man want? Does anybody fucking care? Isn't it a man's fucking world, right? Right?
Yeah, well,
You know?
James
Shit.
Brown, right?
It is a man's world.
It would be nothing. Nothing. Without a woman or a girl. That's how that results.
Well, brings up an interesting topic. Can we survive without women? Touchy subject.
Touchy subject. You know, all right. All right, so let's get into that. Can we survive without women? I absolutely not. I think the universe tells us that right off the bat.
Can we survive without men? I hear it all the time. I don't need a man.
Right, that's true. It's a good point.
So,
It's a good point.
start out with this. Who built this house we live in? Oh, interesting technology that we're creating with, right? Who
Right.
built it?
Who invented that?
Interesting. Can we survive without men? Well, I don't think so.
I
don't think so.
I concur, Dr. Sean.
No. Question is, can we survive without women?
No. I mean, I don't think so. I mean, that's the thing. They're the life bearers, right? So.
Well, besides that, if we had, incubators. Besides the procreation part.
That little detail.
If we're yeah, oops. But if we were able to, have incubators.
Interesting. And
As for survival, down to the basics. Hunting, gathering.
we could get canceled on our first episode real quick if we go down that road. So let's keep it on. All right,
yeah.
I see what you're saying. So you're saying that you want to get some incubation. That's your utopian future.
These
right
are
there?
just one of the menus. I'm just going to go down the list of things that have been in my head.
Sure.
That one. So my big thing is man bashing. I'm done with that shit, okay? I'm not here to bash anybody, bash women or men. But you know what? We don't have a voice here. So I'm here to speak on behalf of men.
Right.
I'm that's enough of that shit. So the other one is, well, God, there's many things in my mind. So I feel that, this whole thing of, yes, women are, sex objects, right? And they're beauty objects is the way I like to put it. But what are men viewed as?
I mean, Mark, one can argue that that Wahlberg, the successful one, is he wasn't he running around in his chonas and shit, like in the 90s,
like a sex object,
humping microphones and stuff.
Yeah,
like he's a man version of a sex object.
Mm-hmm. Well, but what I was kind of like getting at is that we really don't talk about that. Like, what is it that a man is, right? For women, right?
Right.
So, just my opinion is that I think that, and history kind of, says that this is true, that men are viewed as success objects, and that's what women look for. It's not just brawn and might and, all these types of things anymore, but women do view men as like security, right? So financial security, success. What makes a man successful, is not really being, able to kick a bunch of ass and protect the house when somebody breaks in anymore. It's, financial security. So success is that, it's not just, caveman anymore, but, I think it is that. And, it really hasn't changed for men. Men just, it's, don't bring too much drama, and men don't really care about financial success for women. You noticed? You don't go, you don't really hear guys saying, man, did you see the degree on that chick? You know, you don't really. Man, she's making 6 figures. You know, like it's not like yeah. It's not
That's a good
really
point.
I'm just in general. If you're looking to date, if you're looking for a long-term relationship, marriage, raise kids,
It's a mixed bag of things.
Yeah, so it depends on what you're looking for. Is it from a man's perspective or is it from a woman's perspective? I mean, I kind of got answers for both. Might not be correct, but I don't really hear too many people speaking about a man's point of view. And reason being, again, my opinion, men don't really speak up for one big reason is we're always chasing tail, okay? So a man is going to tell a woman what she wants to hear to get in her pants. So a man is never going to really be honest with a woman, one, for that reason. Two, if a man were to tell a woman what he really feels, she's not going to want to hear it. She's going to say it's your wife, your girlfriend. She's not going to, really like what you have to say, even though it's the truth. Sometimes it's best just not to say anything.
That's so true.
What do you think?
I think that's true. I heard no lies.
It's kind of a rough topic, but the thing is this, like, we always hear from like what a woman wants and this and that, but why not talk about what a man wants for both? Because men need a platform to speak on. And I think women should be able to hear it and not hear false things because since they were born, they've been fed a bunch of bullshit. It's true.
It's true.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Gobfuls of bullshit. Disney movies, the damsel in distress, the prince swooping in and saving the day.
And I think men have been fed a bunch of bullshit too.
Equally.
Mm-hmm.
True. We're in a very weird place politically, though, with like this. It seems like there's. I see what you're saying, that there's like this new wave to like just treat men like they're peripheral,
Mm-hmm.
Just they're off to the side.
Look,
and
man,
they just keep out of our way. And
men are 3 times more likely to commit suicide than women. A big part of it, in my opinion, is we've always been taught to suck it up. And if you speak your mind, if you express your feelings, you're weak. So I think that there is a space for this. I think men do need this. I think both kind of need it.
right.
Because women, that's enough of them kind of hearing bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. When you were single,
Mm-hmm.
what were some of the qualities you looked for in a woman while you were
So you say single,
on the
not married still.
right.
Never been married. Been engaged 3 times for a reason. Different reasons, but all kind of came down to the same. Is the reason why I know it's kind of off topic where you're going, but I do want to say this while it's out there. Is I lost, and I don't have it anymore, is the urge to have children. I really don't see how a man nowadays wins getting married. What is the point of getting married unless you want to raise a family? I don't really have that urge to anymore, so I don't really see the reason why. What is the point?
Yeah.
85% of marriages end in divorce because of a woman. It's her choice 85% of the time. What is the
choice? I thought there was like
so
both parties have to sign the paperwork, right?
Right, but it's the woman that initiates the divorce. That she's the one that doesn't both. Like the man can't say no, you're not gonna divorce me. She could very easily say I want a divorce. He has no choice.
What about Kim Kardashian? She wants a divorce. Kanye's not.
Oh, I don't know
signing
what's
the
going
paper.
on with that. Really?
Yeah. He's
Well,
not.
all I know is that would you want to be married to somebody that doesn't want to be married to you?
No.
Imagine if you have kids. Imagine if you're the bread maker and she's taking half and alimony. It doesn't really.
Doesn't.
I have some people in my
California,
family that are
so-
in that situation. And in the end, the woman ends up
In the end, you moved to Las Vegas. That's what.
yeah, or get married in Las Vegas. Like, what? I don't understand the point of it. For what is the point of getting married unless you want to have kids and raise a family?
True.
For a man.
Yeah.
Now, let's say it's a woman, seeking security, financial gain.
Yeah.
And it makes sense, especially if you already have kids. Find a man that's financially stable and, raise somebody else's kids, I guess. It happens all the time.
Takes a big man to do that.
How
Honestly,
often?
it takes a very strong man to do that.
Now, is it a strong man? or does a strong man stay single and find his own value and say, you know what? No, I'm not going to settle for that.
Wow.
I'm going to find somebody that has not given up their womb to somebody else.
So
And
let's go there a little more. Let's delve into that. So we were talking off camera earlier about
people are going to love me.
Let's get your take on
Yeah.
you were saying about a woman's past being an issue for you, and that's what I was like.
Yeah, notch count. That's not
The
cool,
notch
man.
count.
No, I see this nowadays, like, what is it, the body count thing that girls are like putting on TikTok? I'm like, oh my God, dude. No, not good. It's not the same. It's not the same for men and women. I'm sorry. It's very, very different.
Can you explain?
Yeah, I mean, so, okay, I'll explain it to you this way. If I'm going to go out and buy my dream car, Lamborghini, for example, just as an example. Let's say the car, it looks beautiful, right? Badass car. Now, let's say it has a lot of miles under the hood, and I buy it, and the person that's selling me the car didn't tell me about this. Well, they got to, right before you buy it. Well, why do they have to tell you how many miles it has on the car? It has a lot of problems potentially, right? So, would you want to buy a beautiful car with a shit ton of miles that has a lot of problems? No. If you had the money, wouldn't you say, I worked hard for this money. I worked hard my whole life to get a degree and make this money so I could get that car of my dreams that doesn't have as many problems, right? Why would I go out and buy this car that has a bunch of problems? Let's say I'm driving this car around and a bunch of dudes are going, hey, that's the car I used to have. Right? Oh, and then another dude. Yeah, I used to have that car too. Man, that thing was, I remember the fucking clutch went out, transmission. Oh, man, that guy has no idea.
Yeah. One thing I will say is it does lead to a lot of insecurity from personal experience, especially early on when I was first, like, really putting myself out there to a relationship. Mm-hmm. I remember seeing past partners with the people I was with as like a threat, almost. And it was.
Wait, say again?
My problem was I was a guy who was like always just like stir crazy, and I was bouncing from like chick to chick and just like.
There's nothing wrong with that, man.
Here's what
it's in your genetics. Not to cut you off, but
right.
It's in your genetics, man. You can have 100,000 babies in a year, where a woman can have maybe one. I mean, there's a big difference. It's in your genes. Now, you don't have to be a caveman about it, and I want you to tell me what you're saying, but, dude, to deny that about yourself, it all starts from childhood, man. Right. When you're circumcised, your masculinity is taken away from you, and we're warriors, dude. It's in our blood to want to conquer. Now, to deny that is to deny yourself of being a man. Go ahead.
All right. We'll come back to that. That's a lot. That was a lot. You covered a lot of ground there. I'm saying I think I messed with myself because I looked at them the way I was looking at myself, where I had all these loose ends that I didn't like. I'm talking about ghosting women. I'm talking about just walking away without and then there were exes who like I thought about sometimes, and I was like, I wonder if things would work out if I hit her up, and like I would assume they were the same way, which is why I felt threatened, and it was a complex. I've worked out of that now. Like I
Yeah.
feel like if you're not trusting of your partner and you're actually like really paranoid about those little things, then you're not in a good place. You need to like work out some stuff on your own, But yeah, I don't get paranoid anymore. I don't get paranoid of like who my girlfriend's like, if she's working with other guys or if she like, even if she's talking to an ex or something like that. Like
But that's
there
Man,
are
I have a
boundaries.
lot of things to say. That's just
Of
a
what?
lot, man. There's a lot to cover. I mean, guys being friends, it's a bunch of bullshit, dude. It's a bunch of bullshit. I mean, I could go over that whole thing later. It is.
Let's hear why.
Yeah.
Why
But
is that?
what I wanted to tell you is, for a man, it's important to do what you did. It doesn't mean you always have to be that way. But a man that doesn't put himself out there and doesn't, like experience what it is to go out and conquer or
Right.
be with many women, and to know that you've done that, you really are going to settle for something that what could have been. When you go through that, and
It's
you
true.
come back
When
and you
you're
find
wild and
somebody, you go,
everybody-
man, I've been through all this stuff
Yeah.
and I know all these personalities. I know what I want. I'm happy with this.
I think in our society currently, people use their 20s for that. That's your like, you go
But
out. You
it's different for a woman, not to cut you off, but
Right.
it's different for a woman to do that, man. Psychologically, it's very unhealthy. And when you're with a woman that has a
But-
high notch count,
yeah.
bad news, dude. Bad
Uh,
news.
Yeah. I mean, I hear you.
So what I just wanted to mention, we can go over this more in detail, is the guys and girls friends thing. Okay,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with it, right?
Right.
But I'm sick and tired of it when a girl says he's just a friend. Fine, but that man will never be a true friend to you, because he's always going to be telling you bullshit. Not like a girl will. I don't trust women that say, I don't have girlfriends because they're full of drama. Well, guess what? If it's all guy friends, all they want to do is eventually sleep with you. So most dudes don't hang out with ugly chicks. I have girls that are friends, but they're all pretty. Now, let me put it to you this way. Any girl, for example, if you have a girlfriend or wife that has guy friends, I challenge you to tell them, give them a call, tell them that,
What?
tell them you want to bang for the night. Tell your girlfriend, not your girlfriend, but give them a call and say, hey, just for tonight, I need somebody, So, for example, if you call me and tell me that, I'd be like, what, Frank? Now, friends don't do that with each other. So that's what I'm saying. Guys and girls, that's never going to be a true friendship, because you don't go fuck your friends. So I'm saying is, a girl thinks that she has, oh, he's my best friend, a guy. Well, he's not your friend if he's going to bang you. You can be friends, but it's not going to be like a friendship like me and you have kind of thing. You know what I mean? Do you see what I'm saying?
Without the banging being on the table.
So the thing is, friends don't fuck each other.
Okay.
So can a girl and a guy truly be friends on that level, like me and you?
I see what you're saying.
They can be friends,
Well,
but it's never going to
So
be
you don't
like,
believe in
man.
platonic friendships? Like,
No, it can exist, of course, but it's never going to be. That woman is never going to get that feedback that she deserves from a friend, from a dude, because there's always going to be. It's never going to be the complete truth. A man is always going to tell a woman what she wants to hear. Men tell women what they want to hear, because one, they don't want to hurt their feelings, and two, there's always an underlying attraction there. Now, women, on the other hand, they're not always attracted to their male friends, but I'm going to tell you what they do get out of it. Women get attention. So women love attention. So when a woman puts a man in a friend zone, it's just they're getting free attention. They love attention. So knowing each other's past, women will say, oh, we started out as friends. I'm like, fuck, dude. Because knowing each other's past will blow up in your face later. A man definitely does not want to know a woman's past.
You know, I noticed it. Like, she does use like a lot of shit I say, and stuff I don't even remember saying. She'll use it in like an arsenal when we're fighting.
Mm-hmm. And let me just tell you,
I don't
want to
get too much into my personal shit.
Yeah,
but, like,
but I do want to say, man.
I mean, I will. I don't care.
I'm really happy because first time that I've experienced where I really like that your girlfriend is cool with me, you and I being friends. There's no kind of like, because women love attention. So when your attention is taken away, even towards a man friend, they want all your attention for themselves. So I'm really happy that I hope that your girlfriend's honestly like cool with us being friends, man.
I think she is. I do think that if there's something that we could talk about that would stand to help, you know, someone listening to this, then why not? You know.
That's why I'm doing it, man. It's not easy for me to talk about this shit because I know a lot of people, especially women, are not going to want to hear this shit. But change the channel, man, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
These are things that it's not easy for me to talk about, but I really do feel that men need to fucking speak up, man. You know, I've been there. I think we all have been. I'm a lover, man. I'm very passionate. Most men are extremely passionate. We get hurt. We get hurt bad. And I believe, for the most part, get hurt more than women. I remember the first time I was hurt by love. I was like 8th grade, man. I was young, you know. But we deal with rejection from a young age. Women start to deal with rejection the older they get, and it's a little bit more difficult because they start to lose their beauty. Sometimes there's kids in the picture. Their value starts to go down. A woman's peak, men's choice, is 23 years old. That means from there, it starts to go down. And as women get a little bit older, start reaching their 30s, they get baby rabies, things like this, a little bit of rejection. How come he doesn't, you know, how come I'm not getting the attention I used to? We've been used to this since we were young, dude. So when we become older, we age like fine wine, dude. As long as we're go-getters, we got our shit together, we don't let ourselves, you know, fall apart. Women like an attractive older man, you know? So we have more to gain. We have knowledge. We're stronger. We have a shell. Women, they get older.
Like turtles, huh?
Like women are like turtles.
No, we're like, man. Like you said, we have a shell.
Got a little... I like the holes
like,
in the
thing,
shell.
It's like a turtle and a rabbit. You know, rabbits are like amped up all the time.
Yeah.
They're hopping around.
I like that.
And
I want
turtle,
to tell you
you
something
know,
about it, yeah? Tortoise
age like
the
wine, huh? I like that.
You know, there's something that's
something
kind of off
positive
the
to look
topic, but you know, I didn't realize this until just recently. Is the tortoise and the hare story? You know, I look at like rock stars and all this like shit nowadays is like live fast, die young. You see all these young kids that like, you know, it's always been like these rock stars, man, they get burnt out. You see them like, where are they now crap? And they look like shit and they're like 40 years old. But you see these dudes that took their time, you know, and grew old, but like, you know, didn't abuse the shit out of themselves, took care of themselves.
Lenny Kravitz, Jason Momoa, those guys are
right. They didn't fuck themselves up. They live longer, and man, the value that they have in their 40s or 50s compared to somebody that's in their 20s, it just destroyed themselves. I never thought of that before. I was always like, yeah, just fucking 100 miles an hour, everything. Now I realize, whoa, slow down, dude.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Women don't have that option, man. They don't. Age is a motherfucker for women. It really is.
There's just, I think there's a lot of like young people, probably now more than ever, who are like short-sighted with some of this stuff. Like, you know, not considering how fucking around with like insane amount of people is going to look to someone you're trying to be serious with eventually, you know, or it's not, or anything like that. Like, you know, because you're saying like everybody needs that phase where they go and they wild out and they like date around.
Every man does.
Every man needs to get it out of his system. I agree
so.
with that. I agree with that to a certain extent, but I think like some guys, like myself, I had a hard time turning it off.
Something to say when you're done about this.
Yeah, and so I feel like the same with alcohol. I go hard on the pain with that too. I get sauced up, and I don't like just keep it coming. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And so I know I've accepted the fact that that's going to be a lifelong,
Two things I want to tell you, man.
lifelong thing for me to deal with, to like not overindulge and to balance things out. You know.
There's nothing wrong with you, Frank. There's nothing wrong with you. Society has told you there's something wrong with you, man. It's always going to be like that, dude. Now, alcohol and drugs, that messes everything up, dude. It really does. That's something that you do it, and then we got to leave it in the past. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean completely shut the door. There needs to be a balance, right?
Right.
As for these urges, that's what makes you a man, okay? Doesn't mean you need to act on it.
It's true.
But let me tell you, if you didn't do it, that urge will be a lot harder to control in the future when you do decide to settle down. That urge is never going to go away. Ever. It's not, dude. Now, for society to tell you that, you know, that it goes away or it slows down, it's never going to go away. Doesn't mean you need to act on it, but it's always going to be there.
Right.
Now, there's certain things we shouldn't say, you know, out of respect to our partner, to our girl.
Like what?
You know, I mean, certain things I don't want to fucking hear. I don't need to hear where, like, when you're getting attention from men, so it makes you feel good. Tell your girlfriends about it.
That's true.
I don't need to tell you when I see a woman with a nice ass, or I need to, you know, certain things for like my guy friends, like, you know, stuff like that. Just certain for your guys, and then certain things for your girl. You know, you don't have to tell them everything. That's a big mistake, because then it starts opening the door for doubt, for your woman starting to wonder, well, why is he thinking about, you know what I mean? It's there, but you don't need to tell him everything. You know what I mean? It's out of respect. What was I going to tell you? I forgot. Oh, anyways, moving on. Does an ugly fat woman deserve a man?
That's in the notes.
The answer is no. No. And it sounds horrible when you
Here
say
we go.
something.
So we're talking body positivity movement now.
Yes.
Okay.
You know,
here
all
we go.
this
Shawnee,
bullshit
let's
of
get your
this
take on
plus
it.
size fucking models. No, this is not okay. People are dying all the time from obesity. Hello. Don't put that in fucking children's heads. It's not okay to be fucking fat. It's good to fucking take care of yourself, okay? Now,
So Sean's starting a movement. He wants to take us back into the 90s where all the models in Target were anorexic and bulimic and like...
hey, man, how many of them died compared to the fat ones, okay? How many of them are living happy, and how many of these ugly fat women are miserable? By me saying those things, oh, my God, misogynist, how dare you, right? But is it okay? Does a short man, ugly dude, short dude that doesn't make any money and is broke, does he deserve a woman? No. So why is it okay?
The short guy can't help his height, but
Right.
fat people can help their fatness.
Exactly. Now, if you're short, you can make a lot of money and you can go to the gym. There's other things you can do. You're right.
Yeah.
But the reason why I say short is because women have all these expectations. The 6 6s. Have you heard of this?
No. What is that?
You got to be 6 months out of a relationship. You got to have make six-figure income. You got to be 6 feet tall.
Evil.
You got to be 6 feet tall.
Okay,
But these are what women want: 6 feet tall.
All right.
You got to have 6 inches in the pants at least.
Okay.
You got there's more than 6 6s, but there is 6 6s, right? Now, it's so common. Ask women what they want, right?
Right.
Well, what does a guy want? Well, he can't help. So if 6 feet tall, that's I won't date a guy unless he's 6 feet tall. Well, he can't help his height. Regardless, what my point is, lady, what the fuck do you have to offer? What about what dudes want? Who the fuck are you? There's a woman out there that's younger than you, that's better looking than you, and there's always going to be, because there's always new ones coming out. So, that's all my point is.
All right. So here's my
Is this
take.
woman bashing?
Slightly, but we'll leave that to others to decide. I don't know. I think you're just talking.
I'm just, I get really like heated up because men have taken a lot of shit, and there's a lot of dudes
Right.
out there that are hurting, man, and
Yeah.
nobody's speaking for them. And
Well, what
a
about
lot
the
of
fat
girls
guy?
out there?
What about the fat positivity movement in
Oh,
the other
yes.
direction? You never see like male. And when you do see a fat male model, it's kind of like grotesque. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like,
For a man to be fat, but looks for a man isn't as important as it is for a woman.
I mean, not like it's just like it's not the same. You don't see like a fat guy in the Calvin Klein ads like on the billboards.
yeah, but do women like? It's not the same thing.
saying.
So now more than ever, people are fucking huge, dude. People are fucking. They are, and
Well, you're a gym rat,
women are
you know.
bigger than ever in the West.
Huh.
So why this is becoming accepted, I really have no answer.
I think there's a a propagation of like I think really at the end of the day, and I'm gonna go kind of Alex Jones on you right now. They don't really care if like people are healthy. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's a
Has to
push
do with
in that
money some way.
direction. Money also, but like
But what is it?
I think there's also a type of like way to control how healthy society is and like whether you're gonna like have healthy offspring and things
You
like
know
that.
what? You're right. It has to do with maybe big pharma and all this other shit. They want people unhealthy. There's
Right.
money in medicine. There's no money in preventativeness.
Right.
There's money in
You get
fucking keeping people sick.
keep them coming back to the hospital, you know, their doctor for whatever.
So, all this stuff we're talking about, really, the reason why, there's two reasons. I do want to help both men and women. And the other big concern is for me is that, all this, nowadays it's like, okay, like, oh, another mass shooting, all this shit. And it's almost always a man, okay? This shit's on the rise, man. Depression, suicide, all this crap is getting worse and worse. A lot of unhappy people, and it all has to do here in the West. And more men, and I don't find anything wrong with it, are seeking out women in other countries. Did you know that a woman's figure will show you like how high her testosterone levels are? So, for example, a woman that has more of a square shape, a flat ass, and broad shoulders has a higher testosterone level than somebody that's not big breasts but has a very small waist. So, for example,
testosterone.
lower or higher estrogen is more fertile, for example. So, if you look at women from, let's say, the Philippines, petite, small, they are more fertile. And that ultimately, so they say, oh, looks do matter for man because we want to procreate. That's in our genes. What is it that we like about women? Fertility.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big reason why men are going to other countries is more fertile, less I'm a boss bitch kind of crap,
Right. Boss.
So it's a lot to talk about.
It's a lot. I mean, I don't know how I would handle this whole new wave, new generation of like. I sound like an old head right now talking about that, but like, if I were just starting out, and like these people are just I mean I remember what it was like to date prior to social media. I'm old enough to have seen
right?
that.
Isn't this?
Yeah,
It's a whole nother world, man.
It's a whole
I don't
nother
know
world.
much
Now,
about it.
I think
I really
like
don't.
ghosting is so much more common, and like, of course, because you feel like there are so many options just at your fingertip, and you
But
can
more
slide,
for
you know.
women, right? I mean, I don't know much
Of
about
course,
this
of
online
course.
dating, but
I mean, you look at like the
it's
followers.
all geared towards women,
it's
right?
geared towards women because guys are thirsty animals and they slide in DMs
Right,
like
and
crazy,
I understand
and,
why.
like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, in your opinion, I really don't know, but I would imagine in order to find what we find is a good woman, which is low miles, man, low notch count, preferably no kids, less baggage.
Right.
Is that woman going to be online? Because why would she? When a woman that has all this to offer, dudes been throwing dick at them since they were 14 years old.
Right.
So why are they going to go online? Right? So what is online? What type of women are online?
Honestly, my current girlfriend is part of the reason why I thought she was really hot was because she got that out of her system. She had all that shit before. She had the Facebook and Instagram and all that. And by the time we
the
started
attention
dating,
seeking, is that what you mean?
well, she got it out of her system. Like people, that happens. You hit like 30, 31, and all of a sudden you're looking at your phone. It's like, what the fuck am I doing? You know,
but
you wake up with that
out
realization.
Of her system?
Social media. She didn't give a fuck about
the
it.
attention seeking, because I'm not on.
Yeah,
there
of course.
anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
the like getting like I like likes
posting
to
a
make
selfie
me feel good.
and like getting attention, and just sitting around waiting for people to reply to that.
That's
and
great.
Then that was a huge factor in like my attraction to her.
That's
now that
awesome.
I think about it, because there were only like two women off the top of my head who I like know who were in that boat.
So she got rid of that before you guys got together?
Yeah, it's like the Lonely Hearts Club band or something. You know, like
Absolutely
people go there and they just.
Absolutely, it is, man.
It's just a fucking fake ass world. And now we're going even further with this meta bullshit that's happening. They're taking it even further. They want you to be like,
that?
It's Facebook's new development into like
man, I've been out of the loop with this stuff for a while.
Artificial intelligence. It's like wearing the helmets, being lost in a world. They're talking about having fans meet Justin Bieber with their little goggles on and shit like that. Like, you know.
We've lost.
Obviously, porn industry is going to go that direction.
Right. We're so losing touch with it is to be human, man, because we're getting satisfaction out of things that are not real, dude. It's not fucking real life.
Right.
With this shit that friends, they're my friends, internet friends, that's not what. It's so we've lost touch with reality, dude.
Right. Isn't that
crazy? It really bothers me when I go somewhere beautiful on vacation. You know, even in Colombia, when I was there for a long time, even the poorest countries, man, they all have phones. Anywhere you go, people are so busy doing this that they're not absorbing what's going on around them because they want to get that satisfaction out of, I guess, likes on the internet. It's fucking horrible, dude, because these people are missing out on their life and absorbing. It's not about what you can show the world. It's about what God's showing you, man.
It's like cigarettes in the 90s. That's what this cell phone craze is like.
Cigarettes in the 90s.
It's like
nomophilia. Remember I told you about that?
Yeah, it's not healthy.
So cigarettes in the 90s. Tell me more.
You puff away on your jewel.
Geek vape.
I just, I think that people, like, back in the 50s, before all the, I should say it's like cigarettes in general. It's not like cigarettes. Cigarettes in the 90s had the backlash already from like they were trying to tell people don't do that shit, I think eventually social media is going to be the same way. And China's already doing that. China's already implementing like ways to restrict children from being on the internet too long.
Hey,
I mean,
are you serious?
Not crazy about
wow.
Okay. You want to?
There needs to be. It's fucking insane.
That is a move.
It's a drug,
that is
dude.
a move that I do respect as well. Yeah,
it has to be controlled. People are not. Again, not to cut you off. People are not controlling this shit. Where I work, fucking kids have these devices in their hands. We are the era of screens. If there was a catastrophe, if a bomb came and or an asteroid came and or a meteorite blew up the world, what history would we have? Everything's on the fucking internet. There's nothing tangible, man. There's nothing concrete.
Yeah, I was going through pics of my grandma because she just passed away last 2 weeks ago, and rest in peace.
Yeah.
But I noticed that too. Like, there's a disconnect from the 90s, early 2000s, and then like I had no physical photos of her from like early 2000s onward, and I was really disappointed with that. And it just goes to show like they've kind of sucked us into this fake ass world where we're not like, I'm talking about a printed photo right now, but like it's a metaphor for like a lot of other things. You're right, where we are being torn away from our humanity in a sense, and I think we need to be resolute in holding on to it. You know what I mean? Or else it's gonna just fade away.
It's gone. You're absolutely right, and it's fucking out of control. And where it needs to start is at home with the fucking parents restricting your fucking kids with this shit.
So you want the- you want
because
the-
you're being lazy. You're not putting the fucking time in your kid.
So we agree. We give the kids to the Chinese. We let them handle
Well, they're going crazy with now the ratings of people.
the
You know,
social credit scores.
pretty
I mean,
crazy,
that's
man.
the thing too. For adults, they actually they have like censors. They have a censor bureau that goes around and they make sure that no one say that everything that, especially celebrities in China, are saying is in line with socialist ideology, right?
Mhm.
And if you go out of that, I think they censor you. But I'm pretty sure they don't
Yeah,
don't fuck
it's-
around in China, dude.
No,
They will
no.
they take people
But
down
what you're
for
telling
some
me,
weird
to me, I think that's a good thing, man. I mean, I think it has to be forced upon us because it's out of control.
This is the other thing that
Yeah.
they're doing. They are, you know how part of the problem in American social media is this worship of like say the Kardashians, all these like bootlicking motherfuckers are like watching these people and hanging on every post they do and shit,
Mm.
and like China also came out with something against that. All of Chinese celebrities are not allowed to post anything that isn't in line with so they're not allowed to flaunt their wealth, private jets, luxury bags and shit.
Wow.
Because it goes against
This is amazing.
socialist ideology.
Are they seeing what's going on in this country?
And they are going against the tide, you know what I mean? And that's interesting to watch. I'm interested.
man.
It's interesting to see like how they're moving compared with how
Yes.
we're moving,
I
because
didn't know
it's
about
like
this, man.
there's two different things going
That's
on.
totally different because
Yeah.
this country, being a capitalist, it's all about money, 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 right?
Mhm.
So that's why they're gonna, give the children this drug, dude, of fucking screens.
Hmm.
So it's up to the parents to fucking
Yeah,
control
all
it.
designed in Las
China
Vegas.
is
by the
about
way.
money, but it sounds like to me it's governed differently. It's not each for its own.
They're
kind of
playing.
thing, but-
They always were playing the long game. They
Yeah.
sacrificed a lot to give Americans this feeling of like, and this false sense of entitlement where you go and you buy some shit at Walmart or Target or whatever.
It's pretty embarrassing for us.
It's embarrassing. None of that shit's manufactured here, and we're just buying into it
Mhm.
all the fucking time.
Why do you
through-
think? Well, you come from a good family, man. If you have a friend or a girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever, and you want to know what they're about, my father told me this when I was a kid. It's 100% true. I
What's
listen to my dad now. Is you get to know their family. That's what you're getting yourself into. You come from a good family, man.
Mm.
So, what is it? What I was getting is,
I come from I thank you for that. I appreciate it. That's we have had our issues.
Of
There's
course.
been ebb and
Of
flow
course,
of like
man.
peaks and valleys and all that,
your mother and father have good hearts. They have good hearts, man. They raised good kids, dude.
Appreciate it.
I mean, I know you. and
Yeah,
your brother-
likewise,
Yeah. What was I getting at? Anyways, I forgot. Something about with China and
Social media.
this is what I was gonna ask you is, why do you think American families, not all, but for a lot of what I see, middle class families and lower class, why is it that the parents just kind of give up and give the kids these devices and don't like put in the time? Are they too busy? They don't care like they should? What is it, man? What do you think?
I think when I was a kid, to their credit, it's a lot to be a parent, especially when you're kind of strong-armed, and this happened within the last 30 years, but both parents are now in the workforce.
Right.
So 8 hours a day, they're gone. They come home, they're tired, they're human, they want to kick their
Not
shoes
all,
off.
man. Not all. I see these moms
Right.
with like, few kids and they're all in the store and they got all their kids and the mom's all stressed out and the kids are all with this and
I'm
like,
just
what the
saying
hell?
it's easy to just throw your kid in front of a TV screen or throw them in front of your phone because they're not going to be a problem for you. You're keeping them safe. They're safe in the house. There's this false sense of security there, but
they're gonna be
they're
a
not-
problem for themselves in the future,
and this
man.
is what I was saying about social media. I think social media right now is the cigarettes of the 1950s. People are puffing away. They're thinking that this is all good, fine and dandy, and in reality, they're just it's all about money. First of all, it's
For
a
the
capitalist
moment.
machine. In the moment, short term, whatever. Years from now, hopefully sooner than that, but people are gonna realize that this is causing depression. This is causing anxiety. This is skyrocketing.
We don't even know yet.
People are
We don't
doing
even
all
know
of
yet.
like the things that coveting, envy,
Dude,
gluttony, like all of that.
look at these mass shootings.
sit
and
around on-
fucking
People sit around on their ass all year long ordering Uber Eats and shit. I was one of them. I was there. I was in New Jersey eating like a fucking French king over there. Like it was amazing. Pizza on top of pizza and like wings or whatever, and it was just.
But you grew up with, you know what substance is. You didn't grow up with the screens, right? So this new generation of children, man, they don't know what it was like before the internet, right?
Right.
They don't know what it was like before.
Well,
then.
I'm trying to say like cable TV was kind of like what I equate to kids using their cell phones now, or like video games. Video games have been around for
Right, but there has to be moderation.
Right.
Some families,
Yeah, it was never.
It's a distraction for the kids, so they don't have to
palm
deal with
of
the
your
kid.
hands. It was never really in the palm of your hands and accessible all day, every day.
You remember when you used to hang out and I'd get pissed, like, put that fucking shit down.
Right, yeah, I remember that.
Because you weren't present, you know? And so these parents putting these devices in front of their kids because they don't want to deal with the kid
Exactly.
momentarily, the child is not present. So what
So
happens
they're
when they
not-
get older? We don't know what kind of people these
They're
are
not
gonna
playing the long game. They're playing the short game. Like that's the
Yes.
difference. And
Bad news
and
with a
you
child,
need to,
man.
I think there are parents out there who regulate. They say, "Hey, put your phone in give your phone to me, put it in a drawer, whatever," and the kid just reads or fucking rides his bike or
Mhm.
whatever. Like I think that has to be done.
People say, who are we to say we don't have kids? But we are. We come from
Right.
families. We come from good families, man.
How many? Yeah, exactly.
And we live.
How many kids do you need in order to be a sensible human being? You know what I mean? Like,
Supposedly, do you see what Elon Musk said? That we are not procreating as much as we should. That if we continue this way, that there's not enough people to inhabit this world. We're not procreating as much as we should. Did you hear about this?
it's interesting.
I used to
It
think the
totally
opposite,
goes
but I was
against,
like, wow.
totally goes against the narrative of like global warming and overpopulation.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, also the other thing is Elon Musk isn't getting vaccinated. Why is that?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a whole nother
And
fucking.
you want to talk about that? We can talk about that. But I have one thing to say
There's
to
a lot of
all
things,
the
man.
normies,
A lot
all
of
the normies
things.
out there who are just pro-vax all day long. I think they should ask themselves a question, and I'm
Yes,
just
go,
suggesting
man.
one question.
Say
but
it.
why the fuck would the FDA and Pfizer be in cahoots to hide the data for the vaccine's approval? They're trying to shelf it and hide it from public for 50 fucking years. So that
Say that again. I didn't know about this.
there's an article. It's on MSN. It's
Mhm.
mainstream news. They're trying. There's a litigation where the FDA and Pfizer are in cahoots. Big Pharma probably just wanted to make sure that no one can see that data for 50 years. So they're trying to get a judge to approve that. Meanwhile, there are people who are trying to have it released, the Freedom of Information Act. So
Where are you getting your information?
MSN. The article is a mainstream article. It's out
Alright.
there. And I'm not trying to be conspiratorial. I'm just saying it begs the question, and why the fuck would you inject something in your body without that knowledge? And then we're going to roll around to 2076 or whatever, and by then they'll be able to point back and say, "Oh, that was then, not now. We're all good now." And the
Yeah.
effects of whatever it is just going to fucking
I'm glad you're saying this because what I feel like is, again, this is like politics. Same thing with voting for Trump and voting. So there's certain things that when you talk about it, for example, if you say that you're not vaccinated, oh my God, people attack you, man.
mm-hmm.
Certain things, like you say you voted for Trump, people fucking attack you.
I used to be one of
There's
those
a-
guys who like automatically put someone on a shit list because they liked Trump, only because I didn't.
Dude, I
know
almost
that.
got in a couple fights.
I was just like,
It's crazy.
because in a way, the way he was painted in such a light where all you associated with him was racist.
It's all from the fucking TV,
From
man.
TV, from propaganda, exactly.
Same
So-
thing with the vaccine
So I'd be
shit.
like, oh, that's weird. You might not like Mexicans, or you might not like
yeah, I'm
black
think you're a
people.
racist, right?
in reality, I actually like Trump, and I on the way to New Jersey, I was like, dude, there's someday we're gonna miss.
Remember how you used to feel about Trump?
We're gonna miss this guy someday. You know what I mean? He was actually I know this is gonna ruffle some feathers too, but he wasn't the worst president in the history of this country. I'll tell you that.
And being Latino, which people go, oh yeah, I am. People,
Yeah,
it's like I remember for a while
you're
there.
the undercover brother.
The first time around,
Latino.
the first time around, people wanted a fist fight with this Trump shit, right?
No, they did.
Then the second time around, I saw all kinds, especially where we
do you
live.
mean?
It's almost all Chicanos here now voting for Trump. I'm going, yeah,
Oh,
see?
really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
So the
makes sense.
first time around, it's like, you're a fucking racist. No, I'm not a fucking racist, idiot. I'm fucking first generation, you jackass.
Yeah.
Okay? Has nothing to do with that. But, man, the first time around, honestly, I couldn't even talk about it. Same thing with the vaccine.
You had to be
I'm really careful about who and what I talk about because
and you have to
people
be.
fucking attack me, man.
It's not just that. I mean, you don't want to be considered shit. How should I phrase this? It's like you do got to be careful about what you're saying. You know what I mean?
That sucks, man.
It does suck, but you know, yeah.
That's like how we started off.
And everybody says consult your doctor. Consult your doctor. What do you think the doctor? Do you think they want to lose their license? They have one road to push people towards, and that's what they're doing.
Hey, man, it's a free country, but sometimes it doesn't feel like it. There's so much
we do
pressure.
We do live in California. If we were to live in like Wyoming or there's a lot of states out there that feel like a different world.
Interesting, because I grew up with Democrats, supposedly the ones that a little bit. I guess I don't know how you say it. It seems like the roles have reversed in my mind of what Republicans are and Democrats. I don't believe in either kind of one. I just do your own research, make your own decisions. But my thing is being persecuted by people now that are Democrats trips me out. Because when I was younger, they were the ones that are supposedly more liberal kind of thing. Or you know what I mean? They're not going to bash you for making a choice.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now I'm getting bashed by Democrats like being all hardcore and angry. It's fucking nuts.
What was that?
You hear that?
Chirp? What was that? You hear that beep? I think it's your smoke alarm.
No, I took him out. It sounded like that beep before the feds broke in.
Oh, shit, man.
No.
I mean...
No.
We're good?
Yeah, we're good. Boom! Flash bombs and shit. Get on the ground!
Man.
Oh,
what I love about doing this podcast with you is we are two men, regardless of political disposition or anything else. We have lived very full lives. I feel like a cat. You know what I mean? I feel like I've lived multiple lives in one fall swoop here, and I'm 33 now. I just turned 33, and I feel like I have nothing to complain about. Like I've really
I don't know why I took a liking to you, man. But when I first met you, I was like,
we were like two.
I'm like, that's my kind of dude.
Two cut from the same cloth, man. You know.
You know what I like too is we bounce off each other. It's never a dull moment, I should say.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
we both listen to each other too. You know.
I remember when we first met, you were like, what I liked about your vibe was I knew, like, you knew your shit. Like, we were working at an Italian restaurant, and I was like I was scraping by the skin of my ass, like doing those tables and shit, because it's not really to this day I fucking like.
Yeah, they were hard on you there, man.
I can't really. I'm not like I'm not good at that.
You're kind of a little bullshitter though too. You're like, yeah, I bartend. You did, but they put you behind the bar. But they're hard on you there, man.
Yeah.
There you broke all the the dishes and all. I heard this crash. Boom. And then Gina or whatever, Maria's like, that's $375 worth of shit.
Yeah. And that little British, I bet they took it out of my check too. I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, yeah.
That little British lady, you remember she was running around like a chicken with her head cut off. She didn't say corner, she didn't say shit, so she popped out of the kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
And like she made eye contact with me, and she just kept running by, and I was like, oh shit, and then like all the plates just slid, and it was like a Greek.
Happens.
It was like a Greek wedding for.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to why I liked you. I liked your humility because you were like overqualified for that job. First of all, you would like sneak in little, like you were just unpretentious about it. But you're like, yeah, I'm from Las Vegas. I used to work for Thomas Keller. I was like, who's that? Oh, you don't know? He owns French Laundry and all this shit. And I was like, oh, that's great. I've heard of French Laundry.
Yeah.
I've heard of like
such a humble dude, man.
Yeah, and then you weren't like an asshole about it. You were just cool, and like I would go to you for advice, and so and then the people who thought they were like rock stars, who needed the same section every day.
A lot of that here, man.
There's
I'm like,
ego,
wow,
a lot of ego, and it's like, why, what the fuck?
Yeah, and I'm not the type. I get a lot of that here. That's why I do miss the city. I miss being around that vibe of people that positivity. Go out and get it.
Right.
You know, I like being around that. Here, it's like people been there, done that. They know everything, and negativity. I'm like, what? I miss the city, man.
Which one? L.A.
I really miss San Diego, to be honest with you.
You've lived in. Can you go through the cities you've lived in?
Well, I lived in Puerto Rico when I was little, but that don't count. I was born in L.A. and then moved up here, and then left here when I was young. Soon out of high school, moved to San Diego, moved all over there, different parts. I love San Diego. I want to go back.
San Diego's, in my opinion, San Diego's the coolest city in California, by far.
Yeah, fuck yeah,
by far.
Yeah.
It's.
I like Santa Barbara, but I like San Diego better.
Santa Barbara's kind of like Monterey to me. It's like
a
lot of like bouginess about it. Yeah,
I love the weather though, man. It's a good spot, you know. It's close to LA.
Yeah, Oprah, right?
So then,
But yeah, San Diego has like there's a certain grittiness to it still, and like the gaslight. There's a lot of cool stuff.
It's so big.
About it.
There's a lot going on there, man.
Right next to TJ, you could
a lot of good
football
restaurants.
toss away from like from Mexico, and
there's a lot going on in San Diego.
You're just far enough from LA to like.
What's the fastest growing city in California?
Congestion and all that.
The traffic there is horrible. But anyways,
in San Diego,
yeah, dude,
there's only a million people compared to
really
6 or 8 in Los Angeles. Yeah,
I thought it was 15 million in LA County. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if you're counting the count, I think city proper. I haven't checked in years, but I thought the last time I looked, it was 6 million in Los Angeles.
Yeah, you know.
But you used to live in LA too, right?
Yeah, so when I moved back to LA from San Diego to go to school, people were like, "You're moving back to LA? Why?" I was like, that's where I was born. And ever since I moved to LA, I was like, oh man, I miss San Diego. And then from LA, I moved to Las Vegas, and people were like, "Why are you going there?" I'm like, I got a good job out there. There's union, blah blah blah, and I got a kick-ass job. And they're like, "Oh, you're leaving LA to go to to Las Vegas?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll be fine." I moved there, and I'm like, "Oh, I miss LA now." Yeah, so Las Vegas, it's all right now. I think I could handle it better now if I move back.
A lot of temptations there.
I was too. Vices, right? I wasn't mature enough to handle all that.
Man.
But anyways,
America's playground. Yeah, I know. That's kind of like
Las Vegas is like the Tijuana of the United States,
yeah.
man. So it's kind of like the asshole of the USA. It is, you know. You got the butt crack right there. You got all the fucking.
The Grand Canyon you're talking about.
Pretty much. All the fucking nastiness, dude. You know, Las Vegas is cleaned up a lot, though, man. All the trash all over the streets, like, you know, people walking around with their kids around as they're trying to make it like family friendly, and it's just fucking pouring all over the scatter, all over the fucking street, needles, fucking shit. Like, it's cleaned up a lot, though. Now I gotta say,
no, it has. And one thing I love about Vegas is the food, like.
Oh, dude, that's why I moved there, man. All the greats in the world have a restaurant there. That's why I got to be there, man.
And all like the great Brooklyn-based New York kind of stuff you can find there now. They have like
that's why, dude. I've never been in New York, and you lived over there, man.
Yeah, that was.
I've always gone because working in a restaurant so many years. All the New Yorkers, man, they're cool. Smart. They're quick-witted. They got a personality like nobody else, and. I always got along with people like that.
Dude, they're the best. Yeah, I wanted to get my boy Anthony on the podcast tonight, but shout out to Anthony. Maybe next time. I don't.
Anthony.
My phone's over there. So.
Okay.
But yeah,
So,
man. I mean, like, one thing that we got going for us out here is fucking weather.
Good question, man.
Pristine.
Would you ever it's off topic, but would you ever try or do DMT with me?
On the podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I gotta watch out with
All
that
right.
shit. It's
well,
illegal.
you have you have some?
No, I don't. No, I don't. It's really, really hard to come by. I mean, I don't know nowadays. It's one of those things that I would really want it to come from a good source, because where it takes you, I would not want to fuck around with that unless I knew it was legitimate. Like, it's pretty serious, man.
I've done acid, and I've gotten really into microdosing lately.
Mm-hmm. If you've ever,
But yeah, I'm down.
If you ever had a near-death experience, is what it is. It's the only way to explain it is it takes you to death, and what you experience at that shifting point from this reality to the other reality, and where it takes you, and you have more than 5 senses. All your senses kick in, and there's entities there that do take you to this place, and all your senses exist at this point. And so it's hard to explain, because you don't say, oh, I saw this, I felt this, because we have more than 5 senses, or it's really amazing. And I just don't recommend doing it if you have some shit going on in your life that you need to deal with first. Or maybe it might help you. It's ayahuasca minus the getting sick. Get straight to it.
Oh, really? What's it called again?
Dimethyltryptamine.
Okay.
And the one I recommend doing
DMT.
comes from the toad, the Sonoran Desert toad. It's
Okay.
The poison part.
I used to hear a rumor that the DMT was extracted from the human brain.
Well, dimethyltryptamine exists in every living creature, in every living plant. It's everywhere. You even have it. So I don't know too much about it, like how it's extracted, but I know there's different types. And now I remember fresh out of high school way back when, it's the first time I heard about it. It's a long time ago. And I remember friends telling me about it. They took it. Now I don't know where it went, but it's back. I only knew one dude that had it, and he ended up flying off a cliff in his van, and he had a bunch of. I was probably had a bunch of shrooms and and DMT. I don't know. It was part of it. Hopefully, he wasn't taking that shit and driving, because
Dude.
yeah.
Did you, man. Did you hear about that girl who fell? This was in Big Sur, right over the hill, but she was driving and she flew off. She just flew off into like some rocks and shit, and got stuck. She had to like eat plastic water bottles to survive, and eventually they found her. Just like a helicopter came by and spotted her or whatever.
What was this? She had to eat plastic water bottles to survive? What the fuck? She was trapped in her car? She was trapped on the rocks?
She flew off, and she was stuck on like a private isolated beach. And I know it's like
the Pacific Ocean, right? All the plastic. That's what kept her
maybe
alive.
she had it in her car or something. I don't know, but like she survived the fall itself, and then she was just stuck. She had no way of like climbing out, or like you can't really swim out either.
So how did they?
So
find
she
her?
was just waiting to like.
How many
that chick
days?
should write a book or something. Get the rights to it, because that. Because you talk about a DMT trip. That's like she's like. She didn't know if she was gonna make it or not. She was just abandoned in Big Sur can be pretty isolating.
Yeah.
I think she was there for like 8 days or something, if I'm not mistaken.
Hey, you got a drone, huh? I
Yeah.
to talk about that. There's some shit I want to do with that.
Yep.
So, you want to call it a wrap?
You want to wrap it up? Wrap this episode up?
Yeah.
All right, sure. Let's do that.
How long do we go for? Hour?
Yeah, probably.
Not bad. Sayonara, huevones!
Yeah, we just hit an hour. All right, cool. Thanks, Shawnee.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Thank you, dude.